There were two issues. You couldn't be fired for being gay. And I was like, why fire someone for being gay? That's weird. Like, if they're going around doing weird sex things, fire them. But if someone just happens to have a boyfriend or a husband, you shouldn't be able to just fire them for that.
So what is going on here? Well, Tim Pool put out this video a couple weeks ago, and he is of the opinion that gay marriage is going to go away. So let's take a look and see what he has to say regarding the state of gay marriage in the United States.
Interesting post on X from an individual, Cory Walker, who says that, as I predicted, support for gay marriage has plummeted among Republicans. I suspect that the unrelenting barrage of trans and queer politics has caused some to rethink their support of gay marriage. After marriage equality was achieved, the LGBT movement introduced gender ideology. Indeed, my friends. And earlier in the week, we played this clip on Timcast IRL just before the presidential address. It is Proposition 8, the musical.
So he's slightly off. This Cory Walker, they were trying to introduce gender ideology before they got the approval of gay marriage in the United States, but there was too much of an impediment with this. Obviously, the easier sell is, hey, we just want to be married. So that kind of opened the door for them, I think, because they were pushing, hey, look, we should be teaching about homosexuality in schools and stuff. There was a little bit of talk about that, as I recall. It wasn't a big deal. What was it? Will and Grace, right? Will and Grace was around before gay marriage was a legal thing across the United States. So there was some of that push, like acceptance and all that stuff too. Besides the ideology was all wrapped up in that.
For those unfamiliar, it was this video that went viral back in, I think, like 2008 about a proposition in California that would put into their, I believe it put in their constitution, I could be wrong, that marriage was only between a man and a woman. Well, in fact, it passed. California, as liberal and progressive as we view it, back then said, yeah, marriage is between a man and a woman. Arguments were made by Hollywood elites and celebrities that we should embrace gay marriage. They lied. Interestingly, the reason why I bring up that play is because the core argument presented by the conservative side in the musical, despite the whole thing being a straw man, was that gay rights activists would teach children about sodomy. And then the liberals in the video say, that's not right, that's a lie. And the conservatives say, but it works, so we don't care. Okay, well, the reality is they are teaching. As Phil Labonte pointed out, sodomy is actually the least controversial thing they're teaching kids. Don't believe me? I'll show you the evidence. So we'll start here. Politics and Poll Tracker shows that support for gay marriage currently right now, 52%. That's way down. It was 71 according to Gallup. Gallup now has it at 69, so it's up of only a few points, but opposition at 36%. This guy, Cory Walker, I'm not super familiar with him, but I saw the post and I said, this is an interesting take on these things, and he's right. We all agree. I, as well as many others, pro-gay marriage, saying, I literally don't care if like two dudes or two chicks are minding their own business in their house. The problem was, the narrative always, in the beginning was, it's in the privacy of your own house. Where are we today? At pride events across the country, there's always been gratuitous sex. That's a fact. As far as I can remember, my family owned a business on North Halsted in Chicago, which they call Boys Town. I wasn't allowed to go outside during pride events because it was gratuitous sex, like literally men doing things to each other in the streets. We now have videos of it in San Francisco. It is more rampant than ever. You have videos of nude men, one viral video of a guy wearing a Bugs Bunny mask, hopping around naked in front of children. Yeah, it used to be the people that bring their kids to these things. Now they're having drag shows for children, which is a sex show. And all of these things has made people basically say, whatever it is, LGBT, I am out. It's not just plummeting among Republicans. It's plummeting among everybody, particularly young people.
Right. And I can say that I'm on that train. Because the more that you push for this stuff, the more that you want to bring this out to show everybody these deviant acts, the more I'm like, yeah, we should just not do that. But is that going to eliminate gay marriage? I don't think so. I don't think that we're going to take away the right of people to form these unions however they want to, legally. There is an issue with gay marriage that nobody's talking about that I think we should be talking about in spades. I know people here in California who've gotten married so that they can get paid by an illegal immigrant so that illegal immigrant can get a green card. It's going to be a lot easier for that to happen. It is a lot easier for that to happen now if you have gay marriage. A dude could roll up to me and be like, hey, you want to have a fake marriage and I'll pay you $50,000 to pretend to be my husband. That's not going to happen. I wouldn't agree to that because, I'm against immigration. But there's a lot of people out there who are like, yeah, I'll take the $50,000 just to get married to you so that you can get a green card.
Young people are more likely to say it's gone too far, even Democrats. Let me show you what we got so far. In this post from Politics and Poll Tracker, Democrats, 77% support, 12% oppose. Independents, 45% support, 35% oppose. Oh, actually, wait. Yeah, oppose. And among Republicans, 65% oppose. Now, that's pretty obvious. This is an Economist YouGov poll, the latest data. We have this from Politics and Poll Tracker saying there was once a time where a majority of Republicans, albeit small, once supported same-sex marriage. Now, occurring in a new YouGov survey, it's underwater by Republicans by 41 points. Isn't that crazy? In 2021, Republicans 55% agreed. And then Democrats smashed that goodwill, bludgeoning the issue to death with trans and gender ideology issues. In 2021, Gallup released this poll. A record high 70% in the U.S. support same-sex marriage. Magic, wasn't it? 70%. If we go down, you can see this. For the first time, a small majority of Republicans support it. Republicans, 55%. Democrats, 83%. Amazing. Let's jump forward in time. We have this now from 2024. Same-sex relations marriage still supported by most in the U.S. Republican backing for same-sex union dips below 50. So here we can see, all in all, it's at 69%, seeing a drop from its high of 71. A minor decrease as of 2024, not a big deal, right? It's going to go lower. Among Republicans, it's dropped quite a bit, 9 points. Now, here's the issue. Even among Democrats, it's gone down by a point. Among independents, 3. It is shifting downward across all political ideologies. What's truly fascinating is the YouGov data. Older Democrats are more likely than younger Democrats to want more acceptance of sexual minorities. This is fascinating. Take a look at this. They ask, when it comes to accepting people who are, LGBT, whatever, has American society gone too far or not gone far enough? Democrats, 17% actually say it's gone too far. 33% of Americans say gone too far. Obviously, among independents, it's still 32, but Republicans, 53. The interesting thing is, 18 to 25-year-old Democrats, 22% is a weird graph, by the way. Older Democrats are more likely than younger ones to say society has not gone far enough in accepting LGBTQ. Only 22% of Democrats agree with that statement. That's right. 22% say that it's just about right. Well, it says only 22% think it's has not gone far enough. We'll put it that way. So that means 78% are probably like it's either gone too far or it's fine where it is. 70% of Democrats who are 76 and older. That's crazy. It is a really stupid graph, YouGov. Like, it's ridiculous. Older white Democrats are especially likely to say society has not gone far enough in accepting LGBTQ people. But now let me give you this famous moment. Let's just, I don't really care to play I'll play the whole thing.
All right, I got the funny or die skit here. We're going to dive into this. Now, I'm going to have to break it up because YouTube is probably going to copyright strike me for this. And before you say, hey, well, it's on YouTube already, so why would they copyright strike you for it? It's free for everybody. Well, I don't know. They copyright strike me for stuff that's on YouTube that I put on my videos. So that's how it works, apparently. But let's get into this and we'll take an analysis of the insanity that's here.
It's a brand new bright Obama day. What a time to be black, a girl, or gay. No, nothing could go wrong. So join us in the song of happy days for the gays. Nothing can go wrong.
Well, nothing did go wrong. For you, you got everything you wanted, and then some more. Well, you didn't actually get everything you wanted because it's never enough for you people. But these people just praise Obama like he was the greatest thing since sliced bread. It's just a sickness to me, from what I can see.
Look, nobody's watching. It's time to spread some hate and put it in the Constitution.
Now, how?
Proposition 8.
Proposition 8, great!
Yeah, are you talking state constitution or the federal constitution of the United States of America? And Republicans don't go around thinking like, hey, it's time to spread hate. That's what we're doing. That's not what they're doing.
People listen to our plea. They'll teach kids about
Sodomy.
At the very least. And look, they're all all the liberals are running to the booth to vote because they want to teach kids about sodomy. That's what, I mean, they didn't think they were saying that in this video. They think they were standing up for gay rights, but look what's happening in the real world.
That wasn't right, that's a lie. But it works, so we don't care. Now you...
Yeah, it wasn't a lie. I mean, they're teaching kids about sodomy in schools. You're teaching kids about worse than sodomy in schools. You're teaching kids about all sorts of crazy sexual things that they can do.
You wish we'd all shut up, but make our clothes and fix our hair. And our love's not a sin. Well, the Bible says it's so.
Well, I don't want gay people touching my hair or making my clothes. Those are not things that I look for in my stylists. I buy the clothes that look good on me. I have my own sense of style. I get my hair cut the way that I want to get it cut. And the guy who cuts my hair is very straight. He's Christian, and he has a fiance that he has had since high school. So I don't know what to tell you other than you don't need to be gay to do these jobs.
Well, the Bible says a lot of things, you know?
Jesus Christ!
Hey, how's it going?
Jesus, doesn't the Bible say these people are an abomination?
Abomination? Yeah, but you know, it says the exact same thing about this shrimp cocktail.
Shrimp cocktail!
Leviticus says shellfish is an abomination.
Abomination! What else does the Bible say, Jesus?
The Bible says a lot of interesting.
I like how Jesus is always depicted with like an 18-pack, and Jack Black here has a whole freaking keg. The Bible says a lot of things are abominations. This is true. It says, man who lays with man as he would with a woman is an abomination. This is in the Old Testament, I believe. I'm not a biblical scholar. I've read the whole thing, but that was a while ago. I don't remember it. Anthropologists I've heard them say that the reason that homosexuality was frowned upon in the past, was considered a sin in many ancient cultures, is because it was pleasure without consequence. They didn't have germ theory. So they didn't know that you got sick necessarily from doing these things. But they did know where babies came from. And a man could lay with a man all day long and no babies. But also no work was getting done.
Interesting things. Like you can stone your wife or sell your daughter into slavery.
Well, we ignore those verses.
Well then, friend, it seems to me you pick and choose. Well, please choose love instead of hate. Besides, your nation was built on separation of church and state.
Yeah, I like how these people in modern times interpret Christianity as like the religion of peace and love, acceptance and tolerance. And that is true to some degree, but read the Bible. I mean, slavery is okay in the Bible. So people are like, oh, it's anti-Christian. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's in the Bible. You're allowed to have slaves. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not saying that it's a good idea. I'm not saying that we should enslave people, but according to the Bible.
See you later, sinners.
Bye, Jesus! Bye, Jesus! I love you, Jesus!
You know, here's another thought to wrap things up. Oh, every time a gay...
Well, I don't know what's wrong with the playback here. It's not showing this is the end. It probably is the end of the video because it didn't update. But it doesn't really matter. I think we saw the cogent parts of this play. We can move back into Tim's video.
And conservatives threw away all of their morals for money. That's the argument. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you this from Pink News. This book is gay among LGBTQ titles facing bans in the UK study finds. I'm still pro-gay marriage. Yeah, and I don't want to say marriage because it's an Abrahamic institution, but like civil unions or whatever, as long as the rights are equal, I don't care. But the idea still is always going to be that we're not teaching kids about sexual themes. Sex ed is simply about reproduction, not gratification, and that all changed because the slippery slope goes in every direction. So what's next? Obergefell will likely be overturned, in my opinion. Conservatives are making those moves to overturn gay marriage, and yeah, I think it'll happen. Why? I will no longer defend you. I hope you look into my eyes and you hear what I have to say. I will never defend you again. And, I'll say this because I know people who are gay married and they're not certainly pushing these things, but I'm bowing out. I'm out of this fight, my friends. Back when that whatever musical came out, I actually was like, yeah, okay, I agree. Like, simply, whatever, man. If you want to get married, I don't care. I actually did fundraising on behalf of the HRC, the Human Rights Campaign, advocating for what was basically just gay rights. There were two issues. You couldn't be fired for being gay. And I was like, why fire someone for being gay? That's weird. Like, if they're going around doing weird sex things, fire them. But if someone just happens to have a boyfriend or a husband, you shouldn't be able to just fire them for that. To be fair, though, largely you should be able to fire anybody if you just don't want to work with them. And even if we had those protections, you can just fire them anyway. So it was kind of whatever. And there was the Employment Non-Discrimination Act. And so I actually did, as an activist, fight for you guys. I won't anymore. So I don't know, maybe you win, whatever. But I ain't gonna be there.
So yeah, he mentioned the slippery slope there. Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem that a lot of us saw all along. That Tim didn't see. A lot of people were fooled by this. People have been saying for years, if you allow gay marriage, they're going to be teaching sodomy in schools. And here we are. And here's what Tim's going to expand upon here.
This book is gay. Here you go. Glory hole. Grinder. Okay. Need I say more? That's in the book. And they're giving it to children. Why? Why do they want kids to have it? Here you go. I'm a queer school librarian and book bans enrage me. My straight students feel unsafe around a gay self-help book.
I wonder what the difference is between a queer school librarian and a straight school librarian. I mean, there must be some sort of radical difference there in how it is that you handle the business of lending books out and having books returned to you after they've been lent. I mean, there has to be. Otherwise, why would you, put queer in your title?
So who's this lady, right? What level of school is she at? She said, I need a respite from the drama. It's been a long week. Book challenges aren't anything new for me as a queer school librarian. Okay, let me ask you. School implies either grade school or high school. And I will tell you this. Restricted section. These books that explain how to use a glory hole and how to use Grindr should not be given to children. But let me give you one better example. Teacher, police, book, Illinois. Here we go. Let's pull this one up. Ladies and gentlemen, parents call police after Illinois teacher offers LGBTQ book for her students. Heavens me. What book did she give? It's an elementary school, and she gave their kids a book called This Book is Gay. Sarah Bonner held a book tasting, including Juno Dawson's This Book is Gay, which quickly became the epicenter of controversy. The parents called the police because the book explains how to use Grindr, and she gave it to children. Why are they trying to teach kids about glory holes, Grindr, and also, don't get me wrong, I only showed you one page. There's scat in there. Like, there's stuff that kids should not be learning about. She has the notion that I was putting kids in danger, blah, blah. You were. I mean, this is disgusting stuff. Now, what's funny is they all use this image, igniting social action in the ELA.
I just want to point out something here before Tim goes on to make his next point, which is going to be that they use this picture of this book, which is not a big deal. And people are going to think this is the book, but it's actually this book is gay, which is much worse. But this woman is hideously ugly. Yet she's wearing a wedding ring. Somebody felt like it was a good idea to lock this one down. Yep. Okay, then. Get some. If this was a dude who married this woman, dude, guys, get some standards, man. And I'm sure that if she did marry a man, it was when she was much younger and much more attractive, but time to cut that loose.
Classroom. That's not the book she was giving people. She was giving kids the book, This Book is Gay. That's predatory behavior. She's giving kids a book that teaches them how to use Grindr. Why would a 10-year-old in grade school need to know how to do that? And this was back in 2023, mind you, almost 2 years ago. So, where are we at now? If you're asking yourself why support for gay marriage has gone way down, why it will continue to go down, why Donald Trump won an election, and why Obergefell and gay marriage will be overturned, it's because the liberal-minded individuals who largely agreed and said it's fine, we don't care, out of the fight. Out of the fight completely, and some completely flipped. Republicans have abandoned the issue. They're abandoning it in mass. And people like me, who I'm independent, not a fan of the Republican Party. There's like 7 members of Congress that I like. And I voted for Trump, who was a former Democrat. I tell you this, you will not see me voting for anything related to expanding quote unquote LGBTQ rights. Never gonna happen. So you're not gonna have me advocating. And you know what? From the looks of things, you ain't gonna be having young people either. Because young people overwhelmingly say, yeah, we're fine where we are at the bare minimum. So go get your elderly Democrats to advocate for this. Because across the board, Republicans, independents, and Democrats largely agree. When asked if you think society has not gone far enough, only 14% of Republican youth, 20% of independents, and 22% of Democrats agree with that statement. It's coming down. I'll leave it there.
Yeah, like I said, I don't think it's coming down. I don't think they're going to get rid of... They might get rid of gay marriage in name only. Like, you can't call it a marriage, but it'll be a civil union. And it has all the same rights, which Tim did mention in the video. And, I mean, that's kind of why this was passed. Anyway, I don't think Tim knows this. But I talk to people in their 70s, and they'll tell me about, oh, yeah, we knew about gay people. We knew about married men, and we knew about married women when not necessarily married, but we knew that they were a couple. They were living together. Like, we'd see 2 women living together, and they never had a boyfriend. They were never hanging out, going on dates with men. We knew they were gay, but we didn't say anything. We didn't do anything. They didn't have any rights as a married couple. Like, nowadays, these things are so very different because I can tell the hospital who is my emergency contact, who's going to be the person who can make decisions, end-of-life decisions for me, etc. Where that was just sort of your spouse. It fell to your spouse or your children. Those were some of the rights that people were looking for. They were also looking for, like, the ability to get onto health insurance, which is a big deal in the United States. If you're unaware, if you're outside the United States, healthcare in the United States is extremely expensive. And so having health insurance reduces that cost to an affordable amount. It used to reduce that cost to 0 in most cases, in almost all cases, but now we don't have that system anymore. Thing is like, now gay people can be married, and then, like, your spouse has access to your insurance. So that was a right that was a big deal. And of course you can get parental rights and all that stuff, which is, a thing that was going to be harder for people to do if they weren't married, etc. You can, of course, now you can be a single parent and adopt and all that stuff. So that's not as big. See, all these things have changed. They've just become things that we do. And there was the last step was saying, oh, well, I mean, everybody can do these things anyway. We might as well just be like, okay, well, you can get married too. You already have all the rights. You already have the ability to have all the rights pretty much. Not all of them. The insurance thing. There were places where you could go and they would be like, oh, we'll accept your insurance, even though you guys are not legally married. But we were open-minded enough to do that. I don't know how that worked out because it doesn't make sense to me, but apparently that was the case before the gay marriage stuff got passed. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Make sure that you're still subscribed. YouTube does unsubscribe people. You can find me on Rumble and on Twitter. Thanks for watching.